The Ali Fernay Center is the largest organization in the United States dedicated to serving homeless LGBT youth. And amongst the many services we provide, we run 2 drop-in centers for LGBT youth. And so we felt like an arrow in our heart, this attack, because we could empathize and sympathize and relate so deeply to what has happened. I've been running drop-in centers for LGBT youth for 15 years, and I know what wonderful places they are. I know what it's like for a young person to be afraid and to feel like there's nowhere in their life where they can find acceptance for who they are. And I know how when they come to drop-in centers for LGBT youth, it can be like for the first time in their life, they can stand in the light of truth and freedom and honesty. And I see the joy and I see the beauty of that process of young people being nurtured and being able to accept who they are. And to know that young people going for safety and care and acceptance were attacked in the way that they were is just heartbreaking. And I also know full well, I've known hundreds and hundreds of people who've worked in these centers. And I know the generosity of spirit and goodness of heart that motivates the kind of workers who do this work. Believe me, nobody's in this work to get rich. It's a good-heartedness and it's a caring that makes people do the work. And they nurture and they help our youth to grow. And for these staff to be attacked and for a staff person to be killed like what happened, again, it's just beyond heartbreaking. And we at the Ali Fernay Center want to be here to express our solidarity and to let the people who are so impacted by this in Israel know that we stand with them. And I want to say something. It's hard to do this work and see the extent to which LGBT youth are under attack. And having done this for so many years, I can say from the bottom of my heart that I don't think that any segment of our society is facing as much violence and as much rejection as our youth. I want to say it again, LGBT youth are bearing a disproportionate burden of the violence and the rejection and the hatred in our society. 40% of the homeless youth in our country are LGBT. 40%. Thousands and thousands of young people are being kicked out of their homes and thrown to the streets because of their honesty for who they are. The stories that the young people tell us of violence in their homes, in their schools, in their communities are wrenching and heartbreaking. One of the first young people I met when I started this work, he was 18 years old. He came out to his family in Florida. His father took a gun, put it to his head and said, "You're no longer my son, get out of the house now." A young woman in Brooklyn, her mother finds out that she's lesbian. The mother attacks her and rips out a piece of her scalp. All over the world we have kids coming to us. We have a young person who came to us from Senegal. They found out that he was gay and they burned his house down and he was attacked in a riot in the street. A young woman came to us, she fled from Jamaica. 3 of her lesbian friends were murdered for being lesbians, and she felt that if she didn't flee, she was going to be next. Our kids are under attack. The LGBT movement was founded at a time when young people were not coming out. It was only adults that were coming out 40 years ago. We need to rethink our movement. We need to rethink our obligation to protect our kids. I think that when we look at the crises facing our community, I don't think there's nearly enough of a sense of crisis and priority around what is faced by our youth, the extent to which they're under attack. My prayer for this, if any good can come out of this horrible, horrible situation, if the LGBT community can open its eyes to the extent to which our youth are under attack, and if we can recommit ourselves tenfold to protect them, we're different than any other community because our being open about who we are can so often strip us of family support. So we, the adult community, we need to come together and protect our kids. We need to house them, we need to protect them from the violence that they experience. we need to make sure that they're safe. So anyway, I could go on, but I thank you all very much, and I express my support and my solidarity for the young people that were traumatized, and I express my support for all of you young people that are here tonight.